Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Church of the Heart. My name is Anthony, and last night I had a very profound dream. I woke up exactly at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I knew that I had to share this message. I'll start from the beginning. I'll try to keep it as short as possible, but I'll take home some main points that I want to talk about. So, it started with I was at the base of a hill, and it was kind of like this gated community, and so I was in a van. I was probably with like 3 or 4 people, and I didn't know these people. I wasn't really interacting with them. But anyways, we go up, and it's this very long road up the hill. And at the top of this hill, there's like apartments. We rented an Airbnb for a rental, and it's overlooking just basically everything. Like it's at the very top of a hill. It's the only one that I know that is like around that is at the very top of this hill. Beautiful sky, clear day, it's a bright sunny day, and it's just beautiful, just overlooking everything. So I see that off to my right, and I enter this Airbnb, and then there's people in there. Again, I don't know exactly who these people are. I virtually had zero interaction with them in the beginning, and so I go into this apartment, and I'm taking a look at the space, just quickly look at the space, and then I end up outside. It's still sunny. The view is off to my left, and then I have like parking, and then there's cars, and then the road downhill to the gate is there as well. And I look over to my right, and there's these two girls, probably about my age, probably about 20 to 30. One of them is probably about like 4'5". The other one is probably about like 6 foot tall. And the one closest to me, the smaller girl closest to me, she had this menacing grin, kind of like if you see the movie Smile. Yeah, it was kind of like that. And it struck fear in me, and I even like kind of put my hands up because I didn't know if they were gonna do anything. It seemed like they had something sinister planned, and I was even kind of like looking off to like the left, just to like I was about to like run. I was about to run, either defend myself or run, and so before like I started inching forward a little bit to the left as if I was going like this as I had my hands up, and all of a sudden I'm on the ground, and when I'm on the ground, I'm on these couch cushions, and it's all of a sudden dark. And on these couch cushions, I even like hear myself like on these couch cushions. It's a little bit like plasticky, pretty uncomfortable. But I'm back in the apartment, and I'm in this kind of like super tiny space, probably about not even like 5 feet, 5 6 feet long, and it's probably about like 8 feet wide maybe. And it seems like it would be like a storage place. It's kind of like there's a hallway to my right, there's a kitchen behind me to the left that I know about. There's the living room off to my left, and the front door is there, just giving you a layout of the space of what this looks like. And the room is very dark. There's even a TV in there. But I still feel the fear of just waking up and just feeling fear from that previous interaction. And so I feel like thought loops kind of come in as far as energy. As like a negative energy is continuously, because I kept coming back into that little nook. I made my way out. I had some interactions with some people, but the energy was very dark. And I don't remember the first few interactions that I had with the people inside of the house, but it wasn't like physical or anything, but the energy was just negative. And so as I continued to go back into that little like nook, I continued to build consciousness about my state of being, and I wanted to continuously change and evolve that state of being so that I would become clearer and more positive. I hold the belief that we are our conscious like become we are conscious creators when we choose to be, and when we choose to be conscious creators, we can change our state of being, and we can affect the external. And so this change in the state of being is apparent in dreams, but it's also apparent in physical reality when you truly master how to change your state of being. And so working through this feeling, I continue to evolve the just the overall energy into a more positive state, and I started to find my true power. And so there was a certain point where I went back into like the nook, and I started getting creative about it, and I felt this energy come from my heart, and it was this emanating energy, kind of like blossoming energy coming out, and I felt it as I stood there, and I worked with it, and I understood that if I use this creative energy, I can use it to exit whatever negative energy that I was experiencing. And so a test came up after that, and so I was still in the little room, and I had like three people like try to barge into the door that was to the left, and it was just like just banging, and then they were about to enter, and then all of a sudden like I start like having like powers. Like when I used to lucid dream when I was like 16. I started practicing lucid dreaming, and since I had started practicing, I was using like powers a lot, like telekinesis. uh, I use like in that instance in this dream, I use like powers of fire and ice, and I even like froze a person and I burned a person just to like get them away from me. And then the scene changed, and I ended up outside in the kitchen, and somebody's standing in the kitchen while another person is coming from the dark. Like it's very dark, and I see that it's a guy, and he's coming up, and the energy, it starts off negative, but immediately I changed my response as if like I was apologizing for something, but I was coming from a positive place. So I was saying, "Hey, I'm so sorry. Like, hey, I hope we're all good." Like, I was coming from a positive place, and then the energy shifted within him. And so because the energy shifted within him, it was a confirmation that I was actually doing something with the energy. And so this is just another reminder, like it's how you react to the situations that change that change the energy of who you are, but what goes on around you, and you can truly master that with your consciousness. So shortly after this, I end up in the living room, which is off to the left of that little nook, and I'm sitting kind of like towards the corner, and all of a sudden I'm sitting there and I'm just being aware, and I zoom out and I'm seeing the entire apartment. It's not necessary. It didn't feel like I astral projected or went outside of my body. It kind of felt like my physical form lessened its density so that I was able to be in a quasi physical state, kind of spirit, kind of physical. And I even felt myself like go through like the wall. And that was actually a really cool feeling. And so I was practicing the state of being and the energy of kind of like being in this quasi physical state, and I decided to practice like the state of invisibility. And I noticed that my energy was dense enough so that people can see me. There was nobody around me at this time, but my energy was dense enough so people could see me. But I wanted to be invisible, and so I wanted to know what it felt like to be invisible, especially in the spirit form. And this energy signature kind of went up in me. The energy became a lot more subtle, but I was still in the state of observance. And the energy mainly came from like my pituitary gland, um, uh, which was also connected to the third eye chakra. So I see how that makes sense as far as perception and as far as like uh, being more invisible. So shortly after this, I'm back in my body. I'm in the living room, and I go off to the front door, and there's a window to the right of the front door. And I go out and I take a peek outside, and then all of a sudden my awareness is projected outside of the apartment. And I look to the right, and it's dark. There's lights, there's like maybe moonlight or just ambient light around, and I see two reptilian humanoid figures. They're very tall, very slim. They have no hair. I saw their features, and they were talking with each other. I didn't see words. I didn't see their mouths talking, so they were probably telepathically communicating. And a little bit of fear kicked in, and I didn't know who these beings were, and so I had to quickly adapt and basically implement what I had just learned about the state of invisibility, and I kind of brought that up in myself, and I kind of went back so that they didn't really catch where I was in the spirit or anything. And so it was very interesting seeing those two beings there. I'd never seen any type of reptilians before, but this is what I saw, and they had like scales. They had the scaly. I think they had a little bit of a green hue, but it was dark, so I couldn't really tell. Immediately after this, I end up in a parking lot, and this is like a grocery store parking lot off to my left. There's beautiful hills, and it's a clear sky, sunny day, not really any clouds. And I'm in kind of like this empty kind of looking parking lot. I don't see anybody. There's maybe a few cars kind of like closer to where the front of the store is, but all of a sudden, uh, from my waist down, it starts lifting up at a 45-degree angle, and I'm kind of like this, and the front half of my body is facing towards the earth. And as I was continuing to float upwards, I noticed that there was a certain attachment that I had to the earth, and that I was kind of like reaching towards the earth a little bit, kind of like just to stay like just a little bit attached. But I noticed that I had to let go of that attachment, and so as I continued to let go of the attachment in order for me to float all the way upwards, probably be about like 5 to 10 feet after I get to this certain point, I hear this massive earthly rumbling, and even kind of like a buzzing, and a kind of like an electrical kind of buzzing. And I saw motherships, ginormous motherships surround immediately, like surround Earth, even like tiny ones too. I even saw like the tiny ones surrounding Earth. And I knew that this was the point of ascension. This was like kind of like the last point of ascension. Maybe the last, maybe the beginning. I have no idea. But I knew at the same exact time that this happened, I knew that there was a great destruction about to happen. And as I continued to let go, I saw the earth kind of like zoom out into a smaller, dimension. And I started to, I continuously like went up, and I went into space, and I saw the cosmos, and I just saw the earth just kind of like zoom out and get smaller in front of me. And then I even saw like figures of like situations, like people, places, and things, kind of like in my periphery as I continued to move on up, into the cosmos. And a little side note, I always pray that my dog will go with me during Ascension, and I got a little I thought about that as I was in that state of being, and I saw but she's currently a Shih Tzu. I saw another dog. It was kind of like a golden retriever dog, and I was like a bird's eye view, and I was looking down at this dog, and it was smiling at me, and I knew it was her. And so I know that she's gonna reincarnate, and she's gonna be in my life once again. And so that just gave me hope, and that just gave me a lot of joy, for it. And so nothing really happened after this, but I never ended up turning around fully. And I want to say that I intuitively knew that if I turned around fully, I was going to face the glory of God in full form. And I don't know if it was gonna, it could go new earth, it could be new earth, it could be just source just showing himself to me, it could be the galactic family just laid out in front of me. I don't know what was behind me, but I never ended up turning around because I was still processing the loss of the earth that I once was a part of. So there's a few key things that I want to preface as far as the message. You are a creator of your own reality, and the more consciousness you bring into the energy of your state of being and the energy around you, the more you can the more you can transform and transfigure, going from fear all the way to love, all the way to transcendence. You want to bring these things into transformation consciously. And so it is the acknowledgement of the loops that we have in our own lives, our own toxic traits, our own like situations, our own the way we talk to other people. We need to start coming from a place of love and unity in order to heal these things. And that's where the creative energy really kicked in. I went from a place of fear, and I went from a place of creativity, and then I went all the way up to my pineal gland, and then of course the cosmos is the crown chakra. And I'm not entirely sure what the draconian figures are there for, the reptilians. I didn't really get an energetical vibe from them, but it was very interesting just seeing these beings right there. And so I know that I can come from a place of power and place of peaceful sovereignty, and I am the creator of my own reality, and I encourage you to find that within yourself as you continue this journey. And again, I never ended up turning around, but next time that I am in that state of being, I'm going to turn around fully, and I encourage you guys to do the same. So thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys found some great messages in here, and I hope this inspired you guys at some point. I know that Ascension is near. They say 2027 to 2028, or 2026 to 2027 was the original open contact of ETs. That's what Bashar states. And so this can change, this can shift, but it seems like within the next few years, there's going to be incredible transformations that are going to take place. And so continue to come from the heart, continue to transform your fears, continue to transform your anxieties, continue to analyze your thoughts, your beliefs, where these come from, and what beliefs do you want to support you in your journey. So thank you guys again. I hope you guys have a lovely day. Thank you guys for watching. Please give this a like and a follow if you guys enjoy this content and you guys want to see more of this content. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.